And I think it's a great sadness that Diana was not allowed to be complex, and she was judged about that.
I mean, you did kind of mention that, people were so fascinated about her dating life, and she did have a high profile romance following Charles, and, talk a little bit about that. And was he the love of her life?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he was, they met, at the hospital where he was a surgeon. And she had this extraordinary long relationship with him where she really, really wanted to marry him. And it was just impossible. He just couldn't, he just couldn't step into that world. And how many times have we seen that with an incredibly famous, powerful woman? It comes at a price. And I think it was very, very difficult for him to go along with that relationship. And I think it broke her heart. And I think that is inevitably then what led her to settling into a sort of a Dodie-fired relationship where they all knew what it was like to be somebody like that, to have a lot of money and to have a lot of power and to need security and to be on a level. And I think that's what drew her in to having a high profile relationship like that after, being with somebody who she obviously loved so much.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure it was definitely difficult for her. I mean, what were those last few days like for Diana? Because, they said that, even though she was only with Dodie for maybe 4 weeks, that they were talking about engagement, things were moving very quickly. And she was kind of feeling a little in over her head a little bit, right?
Again, it's hard to say, we don't have letters from that time. We don't have recordings from that time. We have the observations of the tabloid press at that point, which was, frenzied and out of control. And I'm sure that within that, she was trying to conduct a relationship, and the press and the chasing and the attention was out of control. And the press and the government actually around that time had become so mean to her, because that is around the time where she did her famous landmine walk, which again, we now value hugely, we respect, we think what a brilliant thing to do. And in the documentary series, you can see we have some footage of her being told that, meanwhile in London, there are, male politicians saying, again, she's crazy, she's a loose cannon. What is she doing? And you see her reaction of absolute bewilderment of like, are you joking? Right. I am just trying to shine a light on something that shouldn't be happening. This is not political. And again, she was just told she was crazy, mad woman, stop doing it. You don't know what you're doing. And I think that she was reeling from all of that. She wanted to be the queen of our hearts. She wanted to be the people's princess, and she was just constantly barred from doing that by establishment figures who more often than not were men. And so I think that during the time of her relationship with Dodie Fayed, those were things that were happening to her that must have been very confusing for her.
Definitely. What do you want viewers and fans to kind of take away once they finish this docuseries from start to finish? What do you want them to take away after watching it about Princess Diana?
I want people to see themselves in her, like I really did as a woman. I want women to kind of take strength in looking at this icon, this beautiful woman, and, as her brother said in her eulogy, she was wonderful, she was complex. And we as women are complex. We are now allowed to be complex. And I think it's a great sadness that Diana was not allowed to be complex, and she was judged about that. So it would be my dream for viewers to watch it and understand her complexity and love her all the more for that, actually, and just realize that she is a woman just like us, and that we love her in that way. That's what I would really love.